To get through the front door, that required opening 10 different doors.
It altogether presented an insurmountable problem for us.
We need some help.
One of the other 8 prisoners seemed to be different from the others.
From the time I was caught, my objective was to escape.
He approached us and said that he wanted in. Alex brought an extreme sense of discipline and bloody-mindedness.
I considered that escaping was a duty of every one of us.
He became our best friend because we were talking the kind of language that he wanted to hear.
Okay, so he's our cells, okay?
We had keys to our cells. Those doors 1 and 2. Door 3, the door to our section, we were able to get through that. Downstairs was door 4, leading into the administrative section, and door 5 beyond that.
Now, door 6 leads out of the administration area, but it's right by the main office.
I knew that it would be a difficult one to deal with.
Then doors 7, 8, 9, then up some stairs, and then door 10.
The final door preventing us from reaching freedom.
My attitude was that of pushing ahead. My attitude was to solve the problems, to overcome everything that would stop us.
Coming down the stairs, the very first door into the administrative section is what we call door 4. Now, we used to march past that door several times a day. Early in the morning, up for lunch, down from lunch, back up in the evening. They locked and unlocked this door right in front of my eyes, so I knew more or less the size of the key. I made a blank for it.
One day, nobody was looking, and there was no guard around. We went to test this key.
If we were caught here, the whole plan would obviously be terminated. It was very, very scary. And it worked. So that was the next one in our bag.
I was so excited. I apparently had a grin on my face the whole time.
We were very pleased, but there were still major obstacles ahead.
For Tim and Alex to be able to get access to the doors in the administrative section, they had to get past the warder.
From 4:30 in the evening, the single night warder on duty, who was locked into the prison. The problem with door 5 and 6 was that it was right next to the night warder's office. And it seemed to be an insuperable problem. But there I remember the night warder, his name was Sergeant Vermeulen. He had a very fixed routine, and you could rely on it 100%. Every evening, he would play music over an intercom system into our cells. When he'd finished, he switched off the intercom system and went on his inspection of the prison. So there was a little window of opportunity there.
Okay, here's the warder. Every night, he leaves on patrol, comes down the corridor, up the stairs to our cells.
While he's doing that, we need to go downstairs.
How can we get past him?
We needed somewhere to hide.
I have an idea.
We knew that under the stairs there was a cupboard. We decided that this was a feasible place for 2 and possibly 3 of us to hide away while someone was going up the stairs.
And if our timing was correct, we would be hiding in a place and he would be walking right past us. It was at least 15 minutes that he'd be out on his tour around the prison. So that was all the time we had to get all the way to doors 5 and 6 and test them and get back into the cupboard before he returned. On the actual day, we were extremely nervous. Step 1 was to create dummies in our beds. Step 2 was getting out of our cells and down to the ground floor before the record ended. We knew it would take a couple of minutes. This whole operation was contingent on Alex and myself going downstairs and hiding in the cupboard before the music stopped. This was very important because we didn't want to run down while he's coming up. There was nothing more scary than the thought of going down and actually crossing over this guy.
Fear certainly was there. It was there constantly. But then you had to have sufficient reserves to be able to overcome your fear.
It was like going out into a new universe where no one else had ever been, and it was very, very scary.
Every moment, every instant, there was always a danger of something going wrong.
It was an eerie silence after the music stopped, and every sound was magnified hugely. We realized that there was one detail that we hadn't thought of, and that was how to hold the cupboard doors closed from the inside.
Okay.
There's nothing to really pull this door closed apart from the tiny little cupboard lock.
That was one of the most frightening moments I have passed while in prison, holding that lock with the end of my finger.
We could hear him getting up from his chair, picking up the keys, opening his own door, walking down the corridor towards us. It was the most nerve-wracking experience of my entire life. If Emil had spotted us, the consequences would have been dramatic. It would have highly embarrassed them, and they would have thrown the book at us.
I heard the opening of the door. My finger is trembling.
And at that very moment, Alex's fingers must have been sweating so much. The door actually swung open. We just thought, that's the end, that's the end. Both of us were quaking and shivering. Yet the warder didn't hear it. He was in a complete trance, going up the stairs towards our section.
That was a very, very intense moment.
right about 15 minutes before Vermeulen came down again. We had to move quickly. To our surprise, we found that Vermeulen had left door 4 open. So that was one more hurdle that we didn't have to bother about. Door number 5, I tried the key I had made for door 1. And the very first time I tried it just worked. And there in front of us was door number 6. We had no idea what key it used. This big, great, grey barrier, like a secret entrance to some hidden tomb.
I stay behind to warn him if the warder is coming.
The guards, Vermeulen went upstairs. The heads were hidden from sight. By looking through the cell windows, he wasn't able to see that it was just a dummy.
I took all the keys that I had and tried each one in door number 6. I tried the number 2 key, but it jammed immediately and didn't turn properly.
It took a long time. I was very worried.
Oh, it's stuck.
It was nerve-wracking, waiting for Tim and Alex to come back. I tried to imagine exactly what they were doing and where they were.
Then suddenly Alex said,
Time is up. We've got to come out.
Give me a second.
and to me it felt like I'd only been there for a few seconds, but apparently I'd been there for 10 minutes.
Hurry up.
Alex started getting quite agitated because I just kept saying, wait, I want to try one more thing. And Alex said, no, come, the time's up.
Come. It's coming back.
Just give me a second.
It's coming back now.
So I had to give up. The two of us had to go back to the cupboard. We could hear him coming down the stairs. Our knees were quaking. We could hear him going back into his office. Heaved a sigh of relief. The two of us crept back to our cells. We had a sense of defiance, but also a sense of defeat because we hadn't breached the number 6 barrier. We hadn't really succeeded.
That's very bad. We were trying to fight against the idea that it was impossible to get through.
After that, I was in a complete state of mental and nervous tension and couldn't sleep that entire night. And in fact, for several nights afterward, our minds were constantly churning over. We had to find some other way of opening that door number 6. Each time we went down there, it increased our chances of being caught. It was too nerve-wracking. Finally, we hit upon the scheme of making a shaftless key.
The difference about this key was that it was made of wire, a multi-purpose kind of a key.
Instead of a circular motion, you just push the bolt backwards. I thought that it would work just like the master lockpick. And we decided that we were going to try it out. We hoped it would get us through door 6. But there were still 4 more doors beyond that. Now we needed more than the usual 15 minutes he spent on his inspection round.
The attempts to do everything were going to take an awful long time. My job was to delay Sergeant Vermeulen.
We went down following exactly the same procedure, but unsure that the shaftless key would work. I just was praying. I put it in. You had to be very, very, very gentle. I hoped that Stephen would be able to delay Vermeulen to give me enough time.
What was the score of the game? I missed it.
Sergeant Vermeulen, he loved talking about rugby.
21-14.
And we were able to use this to our advantage.
Thanks.
I would take as much time as I possibly could.
Do you get to go to the games often?
More than you.
I was turning this thing and twiddling and fiddling and pulling and yanking. It was an absolutely exhilarating feeling. So now we were in this small pocket between door 6 and door 7, a kind of no man's land. We had absolutely no idea what went on there in the evening. The two of us were faced with door 7. I had a brainwave. Because it was a grill, I was able to unscrew the bolts.
Hey, do you take your kids? Because they love it. They just love the crowds and the...
And I thought, let's destroy this lock inside. Then virtually stick your finger in or even a butter knife, and the lock would open.
I got it. Come on, come on.
There were 3 more doors to go, but we were racing against the clock.
You've got a daughter, yeah? Just the one?
Yes. Door 8 was already open. And then we were faced with door 9, which was just an ordinary wooden door. I tried one of the keys that we already had, and it opened.
Have a good night, sir. Thank you.
So now we were facing the final door, door 10, the very door that we entered that prison through. The small wooden door that you would find on any normal suburban house. But we didn't dare to even try to open it. Our time was up. Vermeulen was surely on his way back down. We came out and hid again in the cupboard. We thought now the way was clear for the actual final escape. We'd just have to take our chances with door 10. Stephen would now join us, so we had to convince someone else to delay Vermeulen. Dennis Goldberg, who was considered to be the leader of the prisoners. Our plan was that Dennis would try to delay him for as long as possible.
Hello, boys. Hello. I committed myself to the escape. We found the answer in that we just used the trip switch of a very sensitive electrical system. If the lights went out, I could call him to come and switch the lights on. That was the plan.
This was the big day. This was it.
We tried to suppress our own excitement and nervousness by just pretending it was just a normal day. We got dressed in regular civilian clothing that had been left behind by some of the guards. It occurred to us, we are 3 high-profile political prisoners, they would have taken it very seriously. but we were prepared to take our chances.
Alex came past my cell and sort of put his hand up, just a hand wave to say they're on their way. And then quiet.
I tripped the switch for the one part of the prison, and in such a way that it's really difficult to put it back again, so it would give us sufficient time.
Lights went out, and of course you know that lights are very important for security. So being a dutiful prisoner, I called the night guard, Vermeulen,
Sergeant Vermeulen!
to come and switch on our lights.
Sergeant, the lights!
The three of us were crammed into this little tiny cupboard, and it was a very tight fit. I was sure that we were going to be caught inside this little cupboard.
Eventually we hear Vermeulen walking slowly down in a very unhurried way, opening door 4, and slowly moving up the stairs and into our section.
Quick as a flash, we came out.
And Vermeulen came. When he spoke to me about rugby, what was startling about it was a hollow feeling in my stomach. Am I going to keep him long enough?
Didn't dare to look around to see whether we were being observed.
We opened door 5. My heart was pounding away like crazy. Opened door 6. And immediately went to door 7 and opened it. And we proceeded down through 8, which was open, opened 9. And there we were standing before our final door, number 10. I tried all the keys in my bag of tricks. None of the keys that we had worked. Here, this 10th door, this pathetic little house door, wouldn't open. It was an absolute nightmare.
How did your rugby team do this weekend?
By this time, I really thought I was a master lockpick. I could open any door. And I tried my picks in this door, and again, it just wouldn't open. I was absolutely flabbergasted.
Vermeulen walks down the passage, switched the lights on, didn't spot the dummies in the beds, then stomps back down the steps. Are their keys going to work? Are they going to be blocked in and not get out?
I can do this.
I tried and I tried and I tried, and I could see that Alex and Stephen were getting very agitated.
They can't just... I know, just give me a minute.
Just said, we can't open this door, we have to go back. We've been beaten.
We had to make a very serious decision at that point.
We could hear Vermeulen going back into his office. This now meant that he was between us and ourselves.
I turned around to my comrades and said to them, you have to use the chisel.
No, I didn't like that. idea at all, because for me that was too crude.
You crazy?
That was just not my style. We've got to get out of here without leaving a trace.
No, I can do this.
Alex and I were unanimous on this point.
All right, just break it.
We're not going back. We wanted to go for it.
I'm sorry.
Tim had no choice.
Alex started to chip away the wood behind the thing, and I couldn't bear it. Mullen was right there, just a few meters away. It made a huge, graunching kind of scraping noise.
It was agonizing to watch it, and every second seemed like forever.
The noise was terrible, and I thought, no, this is the end.
Finally, the door yielded to our pressure.
It was a really wonderful feeling getting through number 10.
And I said, okay, Alex, let's go.
Let's go.
And Alex yanked the door and pulled it wide open.
I was walking on air. I was flying.
We were still in considerable danger. We didn't really know what lay outside there. We held our heads low. There was a warder leaning against a car, talking to another who was about to drive off.
That was a heart-stopping moment.
They didn't bat an eyelid. They just saw 3 civilians. At that moment, we knew that our disguise was working. No sirens were blaring. No one was running after us. Our emotions suddenly started to kick in. The smiles on our faces grew bigger and bigger and bigger. We seemed to be completely invisible. We've done it, we've done it, we've done it. We're out of here.
Ooh.